Howdy folks, Texas Redleg here, throwing out another video here today. I've kind of been pondering this one for a day or two and made a few little notes on it. The areas I want to discuss today, about 4 topics here real quick. So one is going to be this election chaos. So I saw some early voting numbers, and of course this is all boils down to if you believe the numbers, but these are supposedly counted ballots from early voting, and the numbers are not looking good for the GOP. It's looking like about 4-1 based on what I've seen. Again, if you believe it, who knows? There's so much, it's so polluted and so untrustworthy. I don't know what to believe, but they're purporting that the outlook for the GOP regarding early voting, which is I guess about 26 to 28 million so far, is going about 4-1 to the Democrats, or the Democrats have voted 4-1 compared to Republicans. So better hope like hell that we turn it out on election day and people get their ass in gear, because this could be a really bad situation. So not to get bogged down or in the weeds with all this election chaos or pre-election chaos and then post-election chaos, quite honestly, but you know, you kind of need to be paying attention to it. You know, it is what it is. We're not going to know probably anything for a week or two afterwards, you know, if it's that close. So, yeah, again, you know, choose your own news sources. I saw this from a couple different sources. They were saying the same thing. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, if nothing else, it should kick you into gear to, you know, focus on these next items here. And I'm sure most of you probably do this at some level, but maybe not. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are just oblivious to everything around them. They have no clue what's going on. They don't know anything except what's in front of them on their cell phone screen. So the second topic I want to discuss today is situational awareness, and the fact that you as an individual or the leader of a family, responsible member of a family, or a team, or whatever the case may be, you know, you need to up your situational awareness. You need to up your game. You need to know, you know, where you're going. You know your routes. You need to know secondary routes if something happens. The day and age of, you know, just getting in the car and rolling around the area if you're not from around there without knowing some different routes, man, that's pretty dicey. If you're in an area and holidays are coming up, people are going to be driving and traveling. You're going to an area you're not familiar with. You might want to get a map out, or look at a map of the area and know some routes that you can get the hell out if something goes down or the roads get blocked or whatever the case may be. Always have a secondary route. Know where the hell you're going. Know what's going on. Stay alert at all times, whether you're behind the wheel, going down the interstate, or if you're in traffic bumper to bumper. You know, stay alert. Know what's going on around you. You know, when you're driving down the road, don't look at your front bumper, you know, the hood ornament on your car. You know, you look, you know, 4 to 5, 6 car lengths ahead, so you know what's coming up. Know what's going on before you get there. Stay alert. You know, people eyeballing you rolling down the road, you know, look back at them. Don't just put your head down. Like, you know, that's a mark of weakness, and that's what they look for. They look for somebody they can easily target and overpower, and, you know, hurt you, steal your stuff, whatever the case may be. Even worse, kill you. So second part of that, or, you know, a secondary third item for that, is to stay armed. If you don't have a handgun, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, you've got a right to keep and bear arms, because the people that are out there that really can do damage are carrying guns illegally. As a citizen of the United States, a law-abiding citizen, a non-felon, you're eligible to carry a firearm, in your vehicle. And I mean, I'm not telling you to break the law. I'm telling you to know the laws where you're at. But most jurisdictions I know of, you're allowed to carry a firearm in your car, that's accessible. So you just want to know your jurisdictions and the rules with that. And crossing state lines might be a little bit different situation, so you need to make sure you research all those rules and laws regarding being armed. But I mean, people, it's a real thing now. I mean, it's on the news every day, assaults, people trying to run people over with vehicles. Some guy just got punched in the mouth yesterday just walking down the street. So they're looking for trouble, and some of this trouble that they're inflicting on people is life-changing or deadly. So be prepared for that. So regarding your situational awareness, you want to know your routes, you want to know your secondary routes. You want to stay alert. You want to stay armed. And also with situational awareness, I'm an offender of this, not completely, but somewhat. If you got neighbors that you trust, talk about this stuff with them. I'm not telling you to go tell them what all you got and you're prepping and all this and that, but kind of get their temperature on things. Know what's going on. I've got a couple of neighbors that I discuss things with regularly, and we're pretty vigilant people, and we keep an eye on each other's stuff, and we got each other's phone numbers, and we text and all that stuff. So I would say discuss what's going on with your neighbors. Be discreet as you need to be, and that's if you trust them. If you don't trust them, I wouldn't tell them a damn thing. Best keep your eye on them, though. And just be careful with that. But strengthen numbers, people. We all may need help at some point in time. So keeping in touch with your trustworthy neighbors and keeping them abreast of what's going on, and you finding out what's going on from them, is pretty important, I think. Good. It's intel gathering. Again, as long as they're reliable people, you trust them. The third thing I want to talk about today, the third topic, is talking about your movements. Your vehicular movements, your travel. I would really limit those to necessary stops and trips only. There's no need for unnecessary travel right now. The winter's months are getting ready to approach. There's chaos in the streets. I would really try to limit your unnecessary or your non-essential travel at this point in time. I would stock your final preps. I would make sure your supplies are filled. Fuel for vehicles, fuel oil if you live up north and have that kind of heating system. Propane bottles, filling your propane tanks out in the country if that's what you run on. Just making sure all that stuff is tightened up. Tightening up your supplies is very critical right now, that you've got a week to 2 weeks before stuff starts really getting weird. And you know what? There's all this talk about a food shortage. I have no idea if it's legit. I'm sure it is in some areas worse than others, based on logistical, requirements. But in my area, everything's pretty cool right now, but I'm suspecting it's going to go to hell in a handbasket pretty quick. So get those supplies topped off, limit your movements, your unnecessary, non-essential movements as much as you can. Focus your time on getting your stuff together and fortifying your home, outfitting your home, making sure you're squared away, and making sure your kids are squared away, or whoever lives with you is squared away. Medications, food, water, all that jazz. The fourth topic I want to discuss is just economy driven. Who knows what's going to go on and how long it's going to go on, but I would grab some cash. The dollar's dropping like a lead weight right now, but nevertheless, it's still the currency that we have. And I would go ahead and, you know, grab some cash out the ATM. I'm not talking about 60 to 80 bucks. I'm talking about, you know, a few $100s at least, and have some cash on hand. And I would probably get some exchange into smaller bills, you know, $10 bills and 5, 10s, and 20s mainly, if you can do it. And have some cash on hand for this and that if we have grid trouble, or gosh, who knows. I would just be prepared for all of it, and having a little bit of cash on hand at least gives you a fighting chance to get more fuel if you need to, or get somewhere if it comes to that. So let's all pay attention to the election chaos. That's number one. You know, get your news from a reliable source. Keep an eye on those early voting numbers. Hopefully we can trust them. Probably not, but you'll know, at least know what people are talking about and where the temperature is right now regarding voting. Number two, up your situational awareness. Know your routes. Stay alert. Stay armed. Discuss things, the topic of the day, with your neighbors that you trust, if you trust them. Limit your unnecessary movements. Stock up on those final preps, supplies, fuel, propane, meds, food, water, etc., etc., etc. And 4, grab some cash. You know, let's all be squared away. Let's don't leave anything to chance. Trust in yourself. A lot of us have been prepping for a while. A lot of us have gone through the pandemic, so we've seen the you know, dry run, so to speak. So I think that's a good flashpoint for everybody to learn from. So anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Keep prepping. Stack it deep, along with the Republic.